It has been a hectic Sea Otter Classic here in Monterey, California, and today I'm joined by Doddy to go through some of the highlights, right?
Oh man, and there are so many of those. There's so much new tech here, loads of new 2019, 2020 stuff, e-bikes. Let's get chatting.
Doddy, so many brands, so many people. We're talking hundreds of brands and thousands of people here at the festival, and there's loads of events going on. But you know what stands out for me is like actually the lack of downhill bikes and the presence of so many e-bike demos, from Intense to Specialized and Trek and Bosch and High Bike. Huge fleets with people taking them out like all the time, and there seems to be a lot of kids.
This is it's insane. So you weren't here last year. So last year we really started to see how this event was changing. Really, seeing so many e-bikes. I'm glad you're here because I couldn't physically cover them all last year.
And the show's expanded right this year.
You're seeing people zipping around on them everywhere, not just on the demo courses.
Yeah. But for me, getting away from the demo fleets, let's talk about highlights here. Yeah. Now, I think for me, Cedric Gracia and his Forestal bike from Andorra. Now, he's teamed up with two Russians, and they're designing and building a range of e-bikes out of Andorra. And I think there's going to be some exciting stuff coming from, you know, a guy who's done so much in the mountain bike world, from 4-cross to World Cup downhill. What about you, Doddy? What's been the tech highlights for you from the show?
Well, firstly, I agree with you on that bike. I think that's really something special. And of course, the fact that the designers behind that, some of them are ex-bike industry, some are outside the bike industry, like from Formula One and stuff.
Yeah, so right, yeah.
Really cool. I think what I'm starting to see is, other than the obvious tech bits and pieces, we're seeing modular options.
Modular?
Yeah, so you can chop and change things on bikes.
I tell you what, we've some modular homemade e-bikes I can tell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have a chat about that.
Yeah, I don't think we should go there, to be honest. Yeah, sorry.
So, I mean, there's so much stuff, but something that really jumped out to me, something I mentioned on our show a few weeks back, is this Gorilla Gravity brand. Right. So they hail from Colorado, of course, it's like the home of mountain biking, and it's a by riders, for riders type brand. They build everything there. Yeah. But what they're offering is a really quite a unique system. So there's 4 frame options, but the front triangles basically remain the same, whether you have 27.5 or 29, and you have a lower headset cup. Yeah. You can also adjust the reach on the front, and if you want the bike to have shorter or more travel, or if you want to run it with different wheel sizes, you can change the seat stay on the bike. So you're buying a modular system, so you can run the different wheels, like 27.5 and 29 perhaps, which I know we're seeing on e-bikes.
Well, like I said, we have seen some modular e-bikes here, but you know, any travel, any geometry, any motor, but I think they're leaning more towards the sort of motorcycle end of things. And there's a lot of brands here actually which are more motorbikes than e-bikes, and I'm not sure where that fits in, to be honest, here at Sea Otter.
I completely agree with you. I'm all about the pedal assist and not any other form of it, unless it's a necessity, of course. Yeah. But you've got to bear in mind, the market out here is so much bigger than back home for us, and so different. The outdoor market is potentially, you know, so it's, well, you know, you've only got to look at the Winnebagos people turn up in, and they've got motorbikes on the back and the mountain bikes inside.
Do you know what I forgot to talk to you about? Materials. Now, obviously there's aluminium or aluminum and carbon everywhere. But actually, it was good to see Marin had a steel e-mountain bike on their stand. It was a backpacking adventure bike, and you know, I think steel is a good material to work with, and I don't know, I'd like to see some more of that in the future. But Doddy, let's talk about little components. We saw at KMC they had a new e-bike specific chain with bigger pins in them, because after all, we do suffer from broken chains on e-bikes, whether it's through bad shifting or bad technique. What about components wise? What have you seen out here?
Well, I guess the SRAM G2 brakes, they're pretty new, so they're not e-bike specific. They do their guide e-bike brake, and they also do the code. Yeah. But that new G2 brake is easily powerful enough for an e-bike. Yeah. You know, they've also got a rotor coming out. I didn't see it on the stand, but they've got a 220mm rotor coming. Right. So for you guys, in fact, talking about that, there's also the G-Spec brakes by TRP. They've got an e-bike version with a beefed up caliper. So the last few years we've seen a lot of TRP products starting to infiltrate the market. Of course, with Aaron Gwynn helping them develop a phenomenal brake, which I of course used on that bike build project. Now this is a new e-bike specific brake, so it's got a caliper designed to deliver more power, basically to deal with the heat and the rigours that e-bikes can put onto them. And more importantly, check the disc rotor out. So this is 2.3 millimeters thick, so it's much stiffer, much stronger, and able to dissipate that heat much better. The regular rotors are 1.85 millimeters thick, so 2.3 is substantially bigger. And of course, it's got the aluminium spider design to further help dissipate the heat. Just a cool piece of kit, and of course, it's got the Aaron Gwynn style brake lever on the front there, the G-spec. Cool piece of kit. Really like what they're doing.
Doddy, early starts, long nights. It's been pretty hard work, but that's what festival life is all about, right?
100%. You're here for a short time, so you've got to max out on everything.
I think we definitely have maxed out.
But we're lucky today. We've got California sunshine. There are so many people here.
It's crazy.
Look at this place. It's like pretty much every bike brand you can imagine here.
Yeah, totally.
And the thing that really stands out for me is the fact we've been coming to these places for years, and we're lucky enough to be able to get hands-on with this stuff, but this is where everyone else can get hands-on and try it for themselves.
See the bikes, touch the bikes, chat to people,
yeah.
Just get some information. And it's actually interesting for me, it's the first time I've ever been to Sea Otter. It's definitely, when you go to these festivals, they're geographically significant in terms of the brands that go there.
Yeah.
Like for last year, I went to Riva del Garda Festival. You've seen a lot of small European brands there. Again, a huge festival. You can demo events.
So there's a big race as well, isn't there?
There was a Bosch e-mountain bike experience there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you go to something like Rock d'Azur, which is probably the oldest and maddest and biggest festival in the world. There was actually 40,000 competitors there.
40,000?
It was absolutely off the charts. But what I was going to say
I've not been to that. I need to go to that.
You need to go there, Doddy.
Yeah.
But when I noticed at Garda, you have, again, some little kind of French, Spanish, Italian e-bike companies, which I'd never heard of. But then, of course, you've got Eurobike.
Of course, it's the king of all of them.
Yeah.
However, it's different. It's not like the outdoor events where you can try stuff. You can try stuff at Eurobike, but it's not the same.
You know, I do like the outdoor experience actually of the festival.
If you want to see new stuff, Eurobike's where you go. But I think somewhere like Sea Otter or Riva or Rock d'Azur, somewhere like that, get involved. I think people should go to these events.
And the thing is, a lot of these brands, the likes of YT, Canyon, Specialized, they're there with fleets of bikes, so you can go out and ride them. Great thing to do, Doddy.
100%. Get signed up. Find your nearest event, make a holiday of it, and go and ride some bikes.
Absolutely.
Stikman, I'm talking about trail access, e-bike specific trail access. Now, I know it varies from state to state, but what's actually happening here in California in terms of your access to trails on an e-bike?
I won't claim to be the authority on it, but I've been to a couple of trail meetings with People for Bikes, who is our United States advocacy group, and they are, trying to lead a proper agenda for eMTB access. And what I know from the last one we went to was I think a lot of good and better sentiment from the past year, I'd say. I think the tides are slowly turning, but still there's a lot of red tape with the government and the park services. And
me and Brandon actually went, we were in Morgan Hill, Specialized UK, and we actually went into a state park out in the hills, and we actually didn't see anybody there. I mean, this is a big population area down here, South San Francisco. Where is everyone anyway? What's the problem with trail access anyway?
Yeah, we Troy Design's based out of SoCal, so that's our local riding zone, and one of our more popular parks, the OC Park system. They recently kind of outlawed Class 1, 2, and 3 e-bikes, which was a bummer for guys like Troy and I who ride the Class 1s a lot. So we're legally not allowed to go in there. And a lot of the concern is kind of back to your question, you guys noticing that the parks weren't that crowded, and we hear that they're understaffed, they're under budgeted, and they can't even take care of the parks as it is right now. But we live in SoCal, a huge metropolitan area, and we don't really have traffic out on the trails. It's you're on the weekend and it's a little bit busy, but people out enjoying the trails and hiking and biking is not what I think the park people are thinking it is for bikes.
Is it a case of, and I hear that Mark Weir is actually taking some land managers out on e-bikes. He's grabbing them, taking them for a ride. Actually, it's just about getting these people out on bikes, right?
Absolutely. And that's that last meeting I went to, People for Bikes. that Mark Weir was at, there was a couple land managers from some certain parks that are already using the bikes for patrolling and for
and they're having a great time.
Oh, they love it. And so that was there was two different park groups that came to tell this panel, which was it was retailers, it was brands, that the e-bikes are working for them in a positive way for patrolling, for fixing trails, and they are not seeing any further trail damage, and it's actually giving them the ability to maybe clean up a little bit and do maintenance. And so it was good for our the top of the heap California state parks who don't know anything about it all, to hear that from their park people that this is for them it's a tool and it's not doing any more damage than anything else, like equestrian or whatever.
Exactly. So, wise words from Stikman at Trolley Designs. So, interesting words there from Stikman on the south of Los Angeles. But I'm now with Trex Suspension Boffin, Jose Gonzalez, who lives in the north of the city. Jose, you've been riding e-bikes. I know you've been riding e-bikes a lot. I know you've been limiting yourself on e-bikes. But what's the access like in those massively rocky hills around where you are?
For the most part, as far as we're aware, it's okay to use them. There's no signage. The city hasn't posted anything that says that they're not allowed. As far as the city of Santa Clarita, all the open space properties there are legal, for 100% legal to e-bikes. And you see 10,000 acres. So, are you seeing many
e-bikers out on the trails then?
Incredible amount. We were just talking about the fact that over the last 3 or 4 months, I've seen more e-bikes than I've ever seen before in multiple areas, And just last week, I ran into a group of friends that just bought brand new carbon e-bikes. They were riding together, they're laughing the whole time, and they were doing 3,000 feet of climbing. Yeah. And they weren't the rider that would do 3,000 feet of climbing on a regular bike.
Jose, you live in an amazing place there, grippy rocks. It's quite interesting you talk about the fact that airflow is really good on an e-bike compared to a non-e-bike, right? But you should come to Wales sometime and have some airflow.
You have some airflow up there? Yeah. It might not be the airflow I'm referring to, but that's okay, yeah.
Jose, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
We're in the stand of Pro Logo. Pro Logo meaning prologue and the beginning. Now, there's a new brand called Proxim, which is actually the next generation. And it's no surprise that the next generation seats are actually e-bike seats. So this is the new W650 from Proxim. It's a multi-section system on this saddle. And there's a reason for that, because we spend a lot of time on the saddle climbing and probably pedaling more sat down than you would on a non-e-mountain bike. Lots of cool features on here. First of all is the width. There's a different width on this saddle compared to a standard mountain bike. It's a little bit wider. We're looking at 145 width and a 250 length on this. There's a slightly wider nose on here as well, because it's really critical when you ride an e-mountain bike, because you have side-to-side movements and you have forwards and rearward movements, just to make sure you get all that grip going through the back tyre. Material is super grippy, but also that material actually moves with you as you're cycling. Now, what I really like about this saddle is, because we spend all that time sat down, there's probably a lot more vibration going through your bum than maybe on a non-e-bike. So there's a lot of flexibility in the system. And another really nice touch I like is the underneath there, because when you're climbing up hills, maybe you get off sometimes, you have to lift the bike, there's a cool handle there to help you do that. Reflective pads on the back there. So there you go, the Proxim W650 e-bike saddle. And you know what, if you don't believe me, have a chat with Marco Fontana, a former Olympic cross-country racer, or maybe to the Polytechnic of Milan, who helped develop the saddle.
So we've got a TRB1 here on the Bro stand, a nice clean background. I do like the background, I like the lines in it. What do you reckon? Do you reckon nice or super nice?
Super nice.
That's a nice looking Levo. Is that a rental bike? Oh, sorry, it's a Kinevo. Is that a rental bike?
Yes, it is.
Let's ask somebody what they reckon. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Can I just ask you, do you think that bike is nice or super nice?
It's beautiful, super nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sonic Stomper Soul Beach Cruiser. Excuse me, if you got a second. Can I just ask you, what do you think of this bike? Do you think this bike is nice or super nice?
Super nice.
Thank you. Looks like someone's bike been in the e-bike race at Sea Otter. It's got a number board on it. Got a coffee cup down there, just randomly leaning against a barrel of water. Sorry, can I just ask you a question, please? Sure. About this bike here. This one here. Would you say that bike is nice or super nice?
I haven't even seen it yet.
Nice or super nice? Take your time.
It's nice.
Nice. I'm looking at this Fantic 180 here. I think it's quite good colour coordination, obviously with the Indian Gourmet behind it. I don't know, what do you reckon? Nice or super nice?
Super nice.
It's a nice looking giant e-bike here. What's that bit of rope on the back there? What's that rope in the back?
Well, my husband bought me the e-bike 2 years ago, and one of the contingencies is that I pull him up some hills. So this is my husband's tether line in case he needs a lift up a big steep hill.
Did I see a number board on this bike earlier?
Yes, sir. Yesterday I raced the Sea Otter Women's e-bike 50 to 59 Classic.
How'd you get on?
I went ahead and won. I took first place. Yes.
So, sorry, excuse me. Can I just ask you a question, please? Would you say that this bike is nice or super nice?
Oh, it's amazing. It's really nice. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, great. But
Yeah.
nice or super nice, though?
Ah, super nice, of course.
Thanks, cheers. Well, I don't think Martin's going to like this. It's too much clutter with other bikes there. But look at that background. Look at those flowers there. This is another e-bike racer's bike. Let's go and ask someone down here. Excuse me. Can I just ask you a question about this bike here, please? Just this bike here, yeah. Come and have a look. No, it's fine. Come and sell e-bike. Would you say that bike is nice or super nice?
I would say it's super nice.
Thank you. Quite like the colour coordination going on here with the yellow toolkits and the yellow bike, new intense taser. Excuse me. Would you say that this bike here? Would you say this bike is nice or super nice?
Oh, it's more than super nice. It's like stratospherically nice.
Okay, Carl Warner's got his felt redemption here. It's nice. I like the black and the grey on it. Yeah. I don't know. What do you reckon? Do you reckon this is nice or super nice?
Oh, super nice. Super fast.
Wow, this looks like an old mountain bike. It's got a hub drive on it. It's an old Trek, 26-inch wheels. Is this your bike?
It is not my bike. Well, it's kind of my bike. It's actually my daughter's bike.
You've got an e-bike. Do you like it?
Yeah. I have a heart condition, and so I can't do a lot of cardio, so they set this up for me so I can ride with them, and it's really nice.
You're having a great time then?
Yeah.
So do you think this bike is nice or super nice?
Nice.
Oh, come on. It's more than that.
Looking for an upgrade, huh? You want an upgrade?
Yeah,
we're
looking for an upgrade
here, but this is a good place to start.
Okay, thanks guys.
And that is pretty much that from the Sea Otter Festival. Don't forget to check out Blake's epic downhill run to second place.
3, 2, 1, go!
And also the Don's videos and Doddy's GMBN tech videos. So get yourself to a mountain bike festival this year. They're quite draining, I'd say.
Click on Steve's burnt forehead to subscribe. Give it a thumbs up like.